Okay, so I want to go ahead and do a quick book update for everyone. I started recording this like 5 days ago, and I got most of the way into it, but then like the middle of it, I got a phone call, and I just never went back and recorded it again. But how is book two going so far? Well, first of all, let's talk about something with book one, which is I entered the Reader's Favorite Choice Award. I don't remember what it was. Reader's Favorite. It's an online contest for books, and I enter that. You have to pay to. Obviously you pay money to enter it. And you get like a couple. You get a review with it, and you can pay for extra reviews and stuff like that. And unfortunately, I didn't win anything, but somebody did choose my book as part of their free monthly ebook giveaway, so that's cool. And they're incentivized to leave an Amazon review, which is nice. So at least I'll get that at some point. I did get 3 5-star reviews, which is awesome, and I have like a little reader's favorite 5-star badge I get to put in the book, which I'm going to update for book one. It's going to have some reviews in the front before you read, and it's going to have that little stamp on there, which is, obviously cool to show off 5-star and positive reviews and stuff. So that's really awesome. Also, for anyone who is receiving books in the mail from me, I've heard nothing but positive things so far from that, which is nice. Um, and yeah, so book one, book one's always something's always going on. Book one's always busy. Um, book two, however, I don't know where I was. I think last time I made a video updating about this, I started talking about who the main character was in book two, which to avoid spoilers, I mean not really spoilers. Sorry, we're not gonna spoil anything, but to kind of avoid anything about book two update, you shouldn't be on this video. But this is your chance to step away now. Okay, so book two's protagonist is Tansu, and you're in her perspective as we went over last time, and where I'm not gonna give away any plot details, really, um, because I want it to be a total mystery. I want everyone to go into book two like blind, except for a couple of people like Dylan, who I've been bouncing off book stuff with and getting him really excited for book two. But um, where I'm at the end. I'm on like the literal like last page or two of chapter 11, which puts me at just like around 120 pages into book 2. So that's coming along great. Chapter 10 took me a very long time because chapter 10 has the most amount of characters in one scene, in one room even, that I've ever had, that are all exchanging dialogue and or doing something. So chapter 10 has a fight scene with multiple Tuffle and the main cast of characters. So there's, I think, 8 total characters that are all interacting, talking, and fighting at a point. And so basically, it's like as a writer, I'm trying to, as somebody who'd be watching that scene, say as an anime or as a movie, you could watch 2 characters duke it out for like 20 seconds, and then cut to 2 other characters with the assumption and with how it's intertwined together when you cut back to the first set of characters, that this stuff's happening at the same time, right? You can be like, okay, characters 1 and 2 are punch, punch, kick, punch, gets knocked out or gets knocked back. Switch to characters 3 and 4, punch, stab, dodge. Switch back to characters 1 and 2, and now that character is recovering from getting knocked back, so you realize that those things were happening at the same time. Now, how do I convey that in writing? It's difficult. It's something I haven't really done, at least not to that degree. I've had stuff happening at the same time before between 2 sets of characters, but not between 3 sets of characters, because this is a scenario where the 3 protagonists are dealing with about, um like I said, like 2 of them have to deal with 2 enemies, each one of them has to deal with 1 enemy, and then we hit a scene where 1 set of characters leaves that current environment. So they leave that room. So now there's 2 separate fights happening in 2 separate areas that we have to switch back between. And it's a complicated way I wrote it, but I think with the way I think it plays out well. And I think when I go through with like doing the first draft revision, I'll be able to see how to make it translate better to help you understand that this stuff is happening at the same time, or at least, close enough to. So, yeah. That was my biggest hurdle. And every time I was going back to that scene, I had to. There's a lot of stuff like, since it's a fight scene, you need the fight to be unique and interactive. Not interactive, but unique and very character driven. So, with how a certain character approaches the fight needs to be canonical with what we know of with that character and their current predicament or their current power level. So, where one character might be more defensive, another character is more aggressive but is being held back by something else. So now you have to, write in that struggle and just display that struggle of a character being held back by something they can't control, and yada yada yada. Anyways, so what I'm trying to say is chapter 10 took me weeks. I can only really solidly write 2 to 4 days a week. I can write Tuesday and Wednesday because I go into work at 2 p.m., which means I can get up between 10 and 11 a.m. and have a handful of hours before I go into work to write, because usually I do most of my writing in the morning, because at night I'm either streaming, gaming by myself, or making other content, or doing chores, or whatever have you, or just relaxing because I'm fucking tired after a long day of work. So, Tuesday and Wednesday is typically when I sit down at my desk right there. And, yeah, that's my desk, by the way. It's a fucking dining room table chair and a folding table with a laptop. And I think those are circus peanuts over there. So I usually crack open a Red Bull, have something for breakfast, and sit there and write for 2 to 3 hours. And the other 2 days I can write are Sunday and Monday. But since those are my days off of work, I typically use those to obviously stream on twitch.tv/ahlincoln. Um, Dylan's talking loud. Uh, I stream. I do chores around the house, go shopping, or play airsoft or something. So my 2 days off, Sunday and Monday, are typically filled with 25 other things that get pushed off to the weekend. Whereas Tuesday and Wednesday are dedicated to writing in the morning. So I don't get a whole lot of time right now because it's still the summer season to write. But when it comes to the winter, as I've been saying, I should have more time to write, because if anything, we'll either have Tuesday off completely for work, which will give me Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday all off in a row, so I can way easier allocate that time to everything I need to do. And then if anything, I might be coming into work at 2 o'clock, or I'll be coming into work every day at 12. So my idea is, if we have Tuesday off of work, then I'll request to come into work every day at 12, meaning I lose my morning writing, but I get at least one full day to write, or 3 days to distribute everything I need to do, thus meaning I can at least set aside time each of those 3 days to write. So typically I get about 6 hours a week in of writing time, 6 to 8 hours, which is not that much, but for what I'm doing, it's working, at least for now. It's slow and painful, but I'm making sure that the first pass is 1.5 passes rather than a sketchy rough draft. It's more of a 80% finished first draft as opposed to a rough draft. And like I said, I'm almost done with chapter 11, and what's going on in chapter 11 that's taking a long time is a lot of dialogue. Right now, usually how it was in book 1 was one character, two characters, maybe three characters would be talking in a scene at once. Typically, it was just two characters, Kim and Alice, Kim and Tansu, or Kim, Tansu, and Kari, Kim, Alice, Tansu, Kim, Alice, Joey, kind of thing. There's always a 1 to 3 dynamic of people talking. Versus so far, my left nostril is congested, I don't know why. Versus book 2, which has a minimum of Once we get into the plot stuff, 4 characters talking, or we go into 2 characters talking, but the 2 characters that are talking is in a very depressive, a very depressive monotone. So the dialogue is uncomfortable and lingering. So the dialogue has been very difficult to write in book 2 because of the themes of everything that's happening has to be very particular. And again, just staying canonical to the characters we know is just like dragging, dude. It's so hard. I'm having such a hard time with it, but I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm happy with the progress I'm making in every scene that I finish. So, but where I'm at chapter 11 right now is basically it's a 3 character dialogue interaction with basically just a lot of it's a lot of exposition, but it's exposition in a way that's story wise making sense. Characters are being filled in on important details, so it's not just expositive diarrhea. It's not just like, well, I'm going to educate you on a bunch of things. It's characters genuinely asking questions, trying to cement themselves on what's happening in the situation. And it's exposition in my mind in a way that's executed properly and thematically. But the only problem I'm having with this is that pretty much all of chapter 11 is exposition, but it's exposition in a way that's natural in how the characters would be interacting at that time. So I think it's good exposition. Although I'm worried with what that chapter consists of won't be fulfilling to read a second time. So when you read it the first time, it'll be like, great, I got a lot of information, this is good, but I feel like I don't want chapter 11 to be the chapter that people would skip upon a second read because it's stuff that they know. But you know what I mean? It's a concern of mine, so I need to figure out a better way to approach it. Either shorten some stuff without cutting a lot of important details, or if anything, try to find, once I get further on in the actual story, try to find a way to maybe cut some of that and move it to a different location somewhere else. So take something like acolytes, which are sub characters in the universe, take the acolyte description and either shorten it, which I did today, and I think it's okay where it is, but either shorten it more or move it somewhere else to where it doesn't feel bloated. And that's what I've been dealing with chapter 11, is trying not to make it feel bloated, because not only are we getting a lot of dialogue between 3 characters, we're getting a lot of a new scene introduction. So we're in a new location that then needs to be described, felt out, and understood by the protagonist, which takes up, like 2 pages of cementing a location. And then there's the dialogue, and then there's more location, then there's more dialogue. So chapter 11 is a good chapter in my opinion, but it's a very hard one to write to make it not feel bloated. But I haven't gone through it fully yet, so we'll see how it ends up. Um, but where I am right now after chapter 11, chapter 12 is where shit is about to really get started, because like we've gotten started. We've basically, it's been going since the beginning of this book, but this is where it's like, okay, now it's full. We just got introduced to, like, it's now life or death situation, and the characters are mortal, and we know that. But now it's going to hit the point where it's like, oh, all the characters are mortal and all the characters' lives are in danger, and now it's actually a fight for survival, and it's no longer a question of I want to go home, it's I want to survive. So that's the point we're about to get to. um, and I think I'm going to have an easier time writing that. It's just I have to approach it properly. So anyway, that's a book 2 update. I know it's a bit rambly, I'm sorry, but that's how it has to be. So feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe for more book updates, and check out lincolnslegion.com/vengeance for book 1. I'm tired. I'm lying down for bed. It's like, I don't even know what time it is. Like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I don't know. Anyways, writing tomorrow. Bye everyone.